And welcome to Healthcare Sucks! That's without no coffee today. Man, with coffee I'd be dangerous. Hey, I wanted to bring you all some things that are going on out there. We're going to get into some new things that they've discovered, and we're going to get into the hoax. The hoaxers are, and the cover-uppers are already started. The liars, the ones that don't want you to know the truth. So we're going to touch on a little bit of what's going on, jump into Mr. Peter. Yeah, aka, you know what Peter means. You know what? HEAD. Yeah, he is. And then we'll jump back and forth with some other stuff. And remember, healthcare sucks!
Thank you. Now, other than Germany, more than a dozen countries have confirmed cases of the virus. In China, the death toll has jumped to 100, with more than 4,500 cases confirmed. Scientific studies suggest that each infected person passes the virus on to 2 or 3 other people on average. Entire cities are already under quarantine, and now the government has asked people to delay foreign travel. For millions, worrying and waiting are the new normal. Well, spreading almost as rapidly as the coronavirus itself is false information about it. DW's Peter Roladal joins us now with more.
Mr. Peter, aka Pinocchio blank DICKHEAD. And I think I got a copy in the fridge. So we're going to rock. Here we go.
On that, so, we have these incorrect claims spreading on social media. What are they?
Well, we're seeing a pattern that unfortunately has become all too familiar in situations like these. We're seeing, false and misleading information that's kind of sprinkled with conspiracy theories. They're being spread to tens of thousands, not millions of people on social media.
Sprinkled with his bullshit and his lies, guys. Sorry, I had to use the word, but it's just ridiculous. And if you think that ain't a bunch of hooey, listen to more coming out of his mouth. And then we just heard prior to this what they said's going on, and we're going to hear after this what's going on. So
it's to sow confusion and to foment fear and cement hatred, really. One example is, the Chinese eating habits that have been blamed for the outbreak. The Chinese, as you may know, in some parts of the country in particular, are known to eat wild animals. And so when it was reported that the virus may have come from bats, videos like these started circulating. They falsely claimed that the outbreak started because people in Wuhan eat bat soup. Now, there are several things wrong with this. Bat soup is not a thing in Wuhan. These videos are, in fact, from the Pacific island nation of Palau, where bat soup is considered a delicacy. Chinese scientists believe that the virus came from bats, but they made no connection to soup, this particular kind of soup. And what may be most troubling is really that what these videos are doing is they're perpetuating this racist stereotype. That's especially here in the Western world.
Here we go with the racist and the abuse and da da da. What hooey. But I have to hit on one thing. Man, that cute little young girl is like eating that nasty bat. Ugh. Personally, I will skip on the bats.
It's still pretty widespread that because they eat different things, they're somehow dirty. And so if they carry this virus, it's basically their own fault.
And what other examples are there?
Well, one example one claim is just that things are much worse. We see these also quite often. So really blowing up the numbers, hundreds of thousands dead, millions infected. Obviously, we know, at least right now, it's not true.
The government's blowing up the numbers. We're seeing actual facts of the numbers. And millions are quarantined. Not just a million. 60 million are quarantined right now. And it's in 11 countries. And that's only what they're telling us. This guy is so full of poop. If you stacked him, he would fall over. I mean, cow pies. You couldn't even stack cow pies as tall as this bozo.
One claim in particular that's picked up steam has been fueled by the popular YouTube conspiracy theorist Jordan Sather in a tweet
Go YouTube!
that he posted last week. He called the coronavirus a, quote, fat disease, and then went on to note that a patent had been filed in 2015 for the coronavirus. It is true that a patent was filed in 2015, but it was for a different strain of coronavirus, and it was filed to try to develop a vaccine to combat this avian coronavirus. That's not what we're looking at here, presumably. Also, it's important to remember the coronavirus is not one disease, it's a family of viruses, including SARS. So
he just caught himself in a lie. It's not just one disease, it's many. And did you see the girl's face as she had to look away? In other words, the patents that are coming out are true. We all know we've done the patent thing. We know that they're looking ahead on this and patenting everything. And we know this came out of Canada. 2 of their people from China illegally working there stole the virus, passed it on, shipped it over. They worked on it somehow, intentionally or unintentionally. It got out. And with their holiday coming, it's going to spread like 12 Monkeys or The Stand. And then we've got Super Bowl. And I'm going to talk about it again. Super Bowl. That's nuts, guys. So we've heard enough of the BS. We know what that is. We're going to jump back to the start of this.
Despite these claims being
in Germany confirmed with coronavirus was infected. It was at a company training event here in the southern state of Bavaria a week ago. A Chinese colleague attended it, but after her return to Shanghai, she tested positive for the virus. According to local health authorities, a German colleague then started showing flu-like symptoms at the weekend.
A test was carried out, and yesterday evening the results came back positive.
The patient is now being monitored in hospital. Doctors say he is awake, responsive, and without a fever. Authorities have said further protective measures have been put in place.
Look what I found. We're not going to advertise what that is, but you guys know, so it's going to rock and roll. They said he does not have the fever, but he's positive. So that goes into one of my previous videos, and what we've been talking about is carriers type situation, and it's going to act different. And we went into that with Dr. Campbell talking about fever's good. It kicks in your immune system and knocks it out. So they didn't go in, or haven't anyway, went into is his respiratory, like pneumonia kind of situation. But they did run the test. He's positive. He doesn't have a fever. So you know what? He would have passed any screening anywhere.
The focus now is on the people who were in contact with the Chinese woman and the people who had contact with the infected German man, especially close contact.
Health officials say the man is in an isolation room and is doing well.
And DW's Emanuela Chase is on the story. She joins us now with more. Emanuela, what else was discussed at this press conference?
Well, certainly the most interesting information from that press conference was to learn more about the way the infection was spread. Now, this woman came from Shanghai, and she stayed only a couple of days in Germany between the 19th and the 23rd of January. But her parents come from Wuhan, the affected region, and they visited her shortly before her German stay. And that's how the infection got to Germany. This woman didn't have any symptoms, and only on her way back from Germany in the plane did she start to feel sick, and then she was checked by the sanitary authorities back in Shanghai.
On the plane, bam, one whole plane full of people. What are they doing about the plane full of people? Was there any other people on the plane infected? Are they all in quarantine right now? They should be. Every single one should be in quarantine for 14 days. Do you hear about this, guys? No. So, again, I put it to you. It's almost one world order, Agenda 21, that they're letting this do what it's going to do. I mean, it's nuts, guys. And you and I are going to be the ones to suffer. I mean, it's BS. And then you got Mr. Peter, D-I-C-H-E-A-D, dumb, is just one of many, and it's out on the news now. And then you got fake tubers trying to say, "Oh, this ain't real." Well, I'm coming to you. It's real. You go check out BP Earthwatch. You go check out Marfugal. Go check out my stuff. You'll see facts. You'll see proof. You don't see that from these bozos. We'll watch another minute or two, and it'll be part 1. Done.
Shanghai, where she was diagnosed with the coronavirus. So that shows that the transmission of the virus is possible even during the incubation phase, before even any symptoms show.
And one of the big concerns, of course, is how to prevent this from spreading. Now, what efforts are underway?
Well, here in Germany, there are sanitary checks for people coming from the affected areas in China in 5 different airports. There's the biggest airport in Germany, Frankfurt, but also in Berlin, Munich, Düsseldorf, and Hamburg. Now, the authorities say they're fairly prepared even before the outbreak, because they were training, they had simulations, and all measures have been reviewed before the first case was detected.
See, there's the hypocrisy over this whole thing. And they're testing, and we're watching it at these airports and stuff, but whoa, backstep. Didn't they just say that this guy did not have a fever? He would have passed all their tests and ran through. What about the lady that ended up on the plane? She apparently was okay to get on a plane. Yeah. So lies are the other people.
And the Foreign Affairs Ministry issued a travel warning for German citizens, and we're still waiting for a decision whether or not to repatriate the 90 German nationals currently in Wuhan.
Okay, so I mean, that's the situation on the ground right now in Bavaria. How about the country in general?
Well, so far, health officials don't think that for taking measures such as wearing a face mask, for example, are necessary, but they warn that even 15 minutes face-to-face with someone infected could suffice to contract the virus. Now, it's quite difficult to differentiate the symptoms of the coronavirus to those from those of a regular flu, but like I said, there were preparations that were ongoing even before the Chinese outbreaks, and they were reviewed before even the first case was detected here in.
So with that, guys, healthcare sucks, and we'll be coming at you with another video today to bring you the truth.